I am scrambling for My Hero Academia content right now. The last episode didn't satiate my BNHA desires, and they even took a fucking gap week. What the fuck? Season 2, episode 13 wasn't a great episode, especially not by My Hero Academia standards. But it's obvious that a stark transition was inevitable between the tournament arc and the upcoming Hero Agency arc. So this episode, which felt like filler, actually functioned perfectly to bridge the gap between the two halves of Season 2. The students of Class 1A took on their hero names to symbolize the shift from classroom to real world. Time to pick some names allows viewer perception of the characters to have a moment to adjust. No longer are the kids just students, but are finally, officially in training to be fully fledged heroes. However, there was no chance that Bones was going to let an episode be that lame. There had to be something buried in there somewhere, and I'd like to think I found it. In the names the heroes chose. Most seem to exist purely to give the audience a way to remember the character's name based on their powers. For a select few, though, I feel as if the names they picked, the ones they acknowledge they will stick with for a while, lay the groundwork for future character arcs they will go through. So, in this video, I will be going through every character, mostly in order of appearance in the episode, and explaining why they picked their name. I'll start with the obvious names and go on to talk about specific, more interesting ones in depth later. Before I get into this, it's important to say I am a notorious dub watcher and manga ignorer, so every conclusion drawn in this video is based on the English translation of the names in the anime only. I will be completely ignoring everything else that the manga may have added before this moment or has added after. Let's start.
Hold your breath.
Yuga Aoyama chooses
The shining hero. My name is I Cannot Stop Twinkling. Mon ami, you can't deny my sparkle.
But Midnight says to
Take out the I and shorten the cannot to can't.
Making the final name Can't Stop Twinkling, an obvious homage to his flamboyant personality and sparkly laser belly button. Such an outlandish name could only be picked by Aoyama. Mina Ashido starts off with
My codename, Alien Queen.
Due to her acidic abilities, but Midnight forces a change to
Pinky!
Giving introspection to her loud personality and defining visible characteristic. Tsuyu Asui goes with the hero name she's held onto since elementary school.
Rainy season hero, Froppy.
As a portmanteau of frog and hoppy, simply and easily describing her quirk in only 6 letters. Kyoka Jiro goes with
The hearing hero. I'm Earphone Jack.
because of obvious characteristics spreading from around her ears. Mezo Shoji chooses
The tentacle hero, Tentacle.
alluding to a Japanese portmanteau of tentacle and octopus. All 8 appendages agree that this is a fitting name. Hantasero sticks to
The taping hero, Cellophane.
on account of the sticky tape-like substance he can shoot out of his elbows. Mashiro Ojiro decides simply on
Martial arts hero, Tailman.
and because of, yep, that's definitely a tail. Denki Kaminari shocks nobody, opting for
Stun gun hero, I am Chargebolt.
referencing his devastating electric ability that works on a timer. Toru Hagikure slides in with
The stealth hero, Invisible Girl.
most likely because any other name would be too hard for people to remember. She just wants to be loved and adored, okay? Cut her some slack. Fumikage Tokoyami unveils,
Jet black hero, Tsukuyomi.
or as Midnight puts it,
Oh, god of the night.
a mix of his name and Tsukuyomi, the Shinto god of the moon. With all his power coming from his shadow and thriving in darkness, there isn't much confusing surrounding this name choice. Minoru Mineta stomps in,
I'm the fresh baked hero, Grape Juice.
probably because his sticky balls have some other function, but most likely because they just look like grapes. However, the juice could be a reference to his generally pervy nature and his desire for specific womanly... Moving on, both Rikito Sata and Koji Koda also went with names that reference their powers. However, their powers have not yet been showcased by the anime. Sata cherry-picked
The sweets hero, Sugarman.
because eating sweets gives him a boost in strength. Koda went with
Yup, all about it.
as his abilities allow him to communicate with and get the help of various animals. Now that the simple character names are out of the way, time to move on to characters with names that predict future character arcs. Not really catchy, but it gets the point across. I will be giving a reason for the names they picked and theorizing in the arcs they will go through. Take everything from this point on with a grain of salt because honestly I'm just guessing here, but I would love to see my predictions come true. Aijiro Kirishima picks
The sturdy hero, my name is Red Riot.
a spin-off of his favorite hero, Crimson Riot, as a way for him to always have a driving force to improve and succeed. Not only will he be pushing himself, but the name he has chosen will force him to go beyond in order to make his idol proud. Similarly, his arc will likely revolve around the idea that his power is no longer just his own to use and have fun with, but rather to utilize to its fullest and make him the best hero he could possibly be. Kirishima will be pushing himself in upcoming episodes, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see him be the next one to challenge Midoriya. Momo Yayorozu creates.
The everything hero I'm creating.
Half is a way to describe her power, half is a way to also give herself something to live up to.
I hope that I can live up to this name.
Earlier in the episode, she is obviously disappointed in the number of agencies that have requested her, saying to Todoroki,
That's amazing. You must be proud.
naming herself the everything hero, Yayorozu shows complete confidence in her abilities, indicating how she plans to become the most well-rounded and capable hero to come out of Class 1A. Katsuki Bakugo explosively declares himself,
King Explosion Murder.
but when Midnight says it's too violent, settles on,
Lord Explosion Murder!
That's basically the same thing.
actually Midnight, it isn't the same thing. What's important to note here is the part of his name Bakugo changes is the part he thinks Midnight has deemed unbefitting of him. He personally downgrades himself from king to lord even after winning the tournament, because he knows he would have lost if he had fought a full-strength Todoroki or maybe even a driven Midoriya. This may be the first instance of him recognizing that he is not all-powerful and that there may be people greater than him. What sucks is that this is most likely due to a translation team, but I can dream, can't I? Ochaka Uraraka mystifies with,
This is the name I thought of. Uravity.
it's no secret where this name comes from, as it's half Uraraka, half gravity. While it's a rather clever way of describing how her power creates a wonkiness in the Newtonian laws of gravity, what's more interesting to me is how she decides to use her last name instead of her first. Uraraka's family matters are no secret to anyone at this point in the show, and she loves and cares for her parents even more than they love and care for her. Her adoration of her parents comes from a deep-seated desire to give back what they have given to her 1,000-fold, and as such, decides that she owes everything to them. Such a strong bond between her and her family have led Uraraka to attribute her hero name, and therefore all of her future successes, to her family. While this isn't indicative of any type of character evolution, I suspect that her name choice, paired with the fact that she is choosing a combat organization to intern with, indicate that Uraraka will attempt to make headlines before improving, leading to a more mellow, blue character evolution for our perky friend. Shoto Todoroki wants to be no more than
Shoto.
Although he is the son of Endeavor, Todoroki's father contributed very little to his abilities now. Todoroki despises the fact that he was created rather than born, and seeks to find individuality in his successes. Destroying any possible connection to his father by refusing to use his left side, he takes it a step further and throws away his last name the first opportunity he has. Finally, he has a way to shed himself of Endeavor's firm grasp through training to become his own hero. Yet, he cannot shed himself of his family, nor his left side, so Shoto is simply a placeholder name. If his fight with Midoriya is any indicator, Todoroki will most likely grow and evolve into a hero he had no expectation of becoming in the first place. As shown in recent episodes, he is already attempting to make reparations with his mother, and eventually I anticipate he will try to do so with his father as well. By keeping his name a blank slate until this is done, I think that he's almost ready to grow into his fantastic powers. Tenya Ida declares his hero name as,
You're using your real name too?
obviously, the expected name following his brother's paralyzation would be Ingenium, with even his brother telling him,
I want you to take the name. Will you do that? For me, Tenya.
However, he does not see himself worthy. Much like Todoroki, Ida takes a placeholder name. Yet, given his personality, it's more surprising that he takes his first name than his last. After looking at Uraraka and Todoroki, it's obviously why they drew inspirations from the names that they did. Ida, however, loves and adores his family, especially his brother, who he tries to emulate and inspires to be on a daily basis. It's undoubtedly respectable that Ida doesn't see himself fit to take his brother's hero name, but it's just plain baffling that he doesn't even see himself fit to take his family name. My best guess would be that he sees himself as partially and personally responsible for his brother's crippled state, as he was preoccupied with childish matters and could not be there to back him up. As a result, he may see himself as unfit to bear the name of the family that he betrayed. The evolution of his character will likely be a result of him overextending to try and avenge his brother, earn back his pride, and finally deserve to be Ingenium. While it's pretty obvious given the recent focus on Ida, I would say Ida's character arc will be the one filled with the most disappointment, hardship, and terror. Izuku Midoriya fully embraces.
Deku, that has to be my code name.
Growing up with the name being an insult slung by Bakugo towards him, Midoriya has recently been able to tie himself wholeheartedly to it, chalking it up to a paradigm shift partway through Season 1, as Uraraka gives him the confidence to do so. During his first quirk-utilizing fight with Bakugo, Midoriya is called Deku before and during the fight, as Bakugo tries to put him on edge. When Midoriya is able to ground Bakugo, he declares,
You can call me Deku, but I'm not helpless anymore! From now on, Deku is the name of a hero!
All this is obvious at this point, and even the show harps on it, leading into the introduction of his name. What's unique to this episode, though, is the old hero names that young Midoriya came up with, all branching off of All Might in some way. When modern-day Midoriya comes up with his name, he thinks back to those moments.
Now that I've been given his power and I'm training under him, I see just how far I still have to go. There's no way I can choose a name that riffs off of his yet.
So he has to become the most powerful Deku before he can be the most powerful hero of justice. I would say, though, that Deku will never evolve into All Might, and not because Midoriya is incapable. He will have to make One for All his own before he can even come close to the capabilities of All Might. But given the differences in their One for All uses so far, once he gets that strong, he will already be his own hero. By that point, carrying on the All Might name will be frankly unnecessary, and instead Midoriya will have to let sleeping dogs lie, becoming the new hero of justice in the process. Deku will truly
go beyond! Plus!